here as we go to David Naquin, who's the Office of Emergency Preparedness Director over in St. Mary Parish. And David, we were just talking a little while. You guys are really considering yourselves pretty lucky, right?
Oh, there's no question about that. This could have been a lot worse. Really can't imagine what Cameron and Calcasieu Parish went through again. This is just incredible. Obviously unprecedented. Certainly our thoughts go out to them, and we feel like we dodged that old bullet again, man. I tell you, it's we were very lucky. We had anticipated a pretty good storm surge. We kind of feel like Vermilion Bay is like a mini Lake Pontchartrain. Once that water gets on the inside of it, it really doesn't have but a few places to go. Freshwater Canal, 4 Mile Bayou. And that's what happens, and the water builds up relatively fast, especially in the fact that our winds predominantly for this event were east to southeast, and that east to southeast wind just blows it straight up in there. We monitored the gauge. We have a gauge at Sitmo Point down in Vermilion Bay, and we believe the gauge started out yesterday when we started monitoring it around 2.8 feet. Now this is a gauge. This is not surge. This is just normal tides, the normal depth, and it got up to a depth of about 9, maybe a little more than 9. So looks like if that equates to anything, it looks like it's going to equate to something around Laura, maybe a little bit less. And of course, we got our buddy down there, and I know y'all know him very well, Don Moe. He'll have it down pat for us here before too much longer, I can tell you.
And
we
David,
use him a lot.
And David, you were saying you were so lucky, you felt really lucky with Laura that Laura's waters were only that high, because you were expecting a lot more from that one too.
Oh, and they had numbers that were scaring the death out of us. I mean, and that's what you prepare for. You have to prepare for what you believe to be the worst case, and you always hope that it comes in a little bit underneath. The thing that surprised us about this surge, though, was the fact that the water went out as fast as it came in. Mm-hmm. We watched the gauge all night, and it was amazing that when the water turned around, it left. And we thought that southwest wind, which we were getting at that point, might hold it up a little bit, but it really didn't have as much of an impact on it. Now, what the water did, besides do the damage, is it left a mud trail. I mean, 4, 5, 6 inches of mud on top of 319, which is the main road down there at Sitmo Point, and that's really what's got us in a bind right now. We are allowing the residents to go back in, but it's really not a safe travel.
Sure.
And DOTD is working with us to try to get grade alls and different things in there to get the mud off the road. And then there's about 4 places just south of Glencoe on LA 83 before you get to Sitmo Point that they had some trees down that had the road blocked. The sheriff's office was able to clear 1 lane of traffic around most of that, but certainly it's still a hazard and needs to be moved before we could try to get the road open back up for everybody. And of course, we've always asked this on every event. If you're just sightseeing, please don't go. Let the people that live down there traverse back and forth. It's hard enough for them, and it's hard enough for our first responders. And if you have no business down there, just don't. In fact, you can go online, Facebook, all of that stuff. Somebody's got something over there where you can see what the damage looks like instead of trying to go down there and find it for yourself. So we've been fortunate with that as well. And right now we're dealing with power outages. It's about 5,500 customers in St. Mary, which represents about 29% of the parish. I think Clico is one of the main providers on our end. And, of course, they got hit heavy.
Right.
Lake Charles, Rapides, Iberia, they had probably 130,000 or better that was out. And just speaking with one of their representatives not that long ago, they had about 10% of that restored. So they're making some headway. Just, again, we ask people, get out of those guys' way. Let them go do their job. And they do. And so now it's just a matter of we're doing assessments. We just started our damage assessments. No doubt we're going to have some damage. I don't know that we're going to have a tremendous amount. We certainly are going to be a lot less damaged than what other parishes have seen for this event. And just as close to us as Iberia and Vermilion. I know they took a lick on this one. And we just hope that we can get everybody back running again. It's with the COVID, we never really got off track, on track again, and of course that made us little issues as far as us trying to set up shelters and whatnot. I know the state, we work very closely with them on all of, in case we had evacuees. We didn't evacuate anyone this time. So the voluntary evacuation apparently took most everybody out of harm's way. And as we have told people in the past, unfortunately, when we have an event and we expect water, the people know who's going to get wet, and they have usually heeded the warning and left early enough, so we didn't have to have too much of an issue with that. But we haven't done a complete assessment as well. There's still water over the highway on LA 317, which goes down to Burns Point. About 3 miles from the end of Burns Point, the water was still over the road. It's passable, but it's not safe. We are letting the industrial natural gas, oil and gas industry people down there. They're doing some work, checking on their damage, and hopefully we can get a handle on damage assessment pretty quick. But it's usually a pretty slow and long process, so we'll just have to wait and see, man. Just hope we can get the power back running, and we'll be back up in good shape after that.
All right. Well, thanks, David Naquin, the OEP Director over in St. Mary Parish. You guys take care.